Let's talk about what I think we'll agree is one of the best films out for a while.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. This is... Oh, just before we do that, thumbs up, thumbs down for Human Nature?
Oh, Human Nature. A thumb and a half from me, but I'm a science geek.
Okay.
So
for non-science geeks, probably just a thumb.
Geek, a thumb.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a thumb.
Not a painful thumb, just a thumb.
Not a sore thumb. No.
Not a sore thumb, no. Okay, so yeah, if you are, I think this next film, if you're a fan of Poirot, Miss Marple, Murder, She Wrote, have a penchant for the game of Cluedo, this will be right up your street, am I right?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I suspect foul play.
Yeah.
God, I love that accent.
I know, the accent's amazing. So this is Knives Out, and it will keep you guessing from start to finish.
Hell
so
yeah.
The story follows the demise of a famous and wealthy novelist. He's found dead at his mansion the night of his 85th birthday, and a couple of local detectives and a suave private investigator.
Can we say his name? Because it's the best name ever.
Go on, you say it.
His name is Benoit Blanc.
Benoit Blanc. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
He tries to piece together who could possibly be behind this demise, and everyone's a suspect because his entire family is in town that fateful night.
Thank you all for getting together like this. It isn't legally necessary, but I thought because you're all in town and some of you are leaving soon.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to gently request that you all stay in town until the investigation is completed.
Well, he's gently requesting, but I'm gonna have to make that an order. No one move until we figure this all out.
What? Can we ask why? Has something changed?
No.
No, it hasn't changed, or no, we can't ask.
Mr. Stevens, you may continue.
Twists, turns, clever writing,
Yeah.
excellent acting. It's got it all, hasn't it?
It's got it all, but I think they've held back. There's been surprisingly little talk about how outright funny this film is.
Yes, it's very funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was absolutely terrific. I've never seen Daniel Craig be this funny, actually.
I was a bit nervous about Daniel Craig at the beginning, but actually really warmed to him because his entrance as Benoit Blanc is a bit like you're like, okay, I'm watching Bond, right? And he's just sat there and he's flipping a coin and he's tinkling the piano, yeah. And then suddenly he speaks and you're like, it's a very distinctive Southern drawl that he gives, and you're like, where is that right?
I have eliminated no suspects.
And and as you carry on, it fits perfectly because it's so ridiculous. This is a throwback to that kind of heyday of these TV shows, these kind of films, the 1970s, 1980s, and it does it with such love and homage that I think it's a really positive thing. You gave it 5 stars.
I did.
Yes.
Very rare to get 5 stars out of me.
Not as rare as it is to get 5 stars out of me, and this didn't get 5. This didn't get 5 stars from me.
Oh,
so
man.
yeah, I probably give it once a year. I'll give it 5 star. This I enjoyed. Doesn't hit the kind of heights of... What did I give a 5 star to this year? Well, I gave a 5 star to Blade Runner 2049 last year, or year before.
That was
2 years ago.
2016?
Yeah, there's got to be something, I think, for me that just kind of hits your emotions, your senses, your everything has got to be all in tune, and it's probably this for me very much on the laughter scale was up there.
So I mean, going through the cast, because there's a hell of a cast.
Oh
on
my
this.
goodness,
and,
yeah.
And, right, I said this to Daryl Morris last night. No matter who you ask, you could ask the most film-brained person in the world. So you genuinely ask me, and I'll forget people.
Yeah.
So Jamie Lee Curtis, Don Johnson, Christopher Plummer, Michael Shannon, Anna de Armas, Catherine Langford. I said Chris Evans as well. Lakeith Stanfield, Daniel Craig, obviously. Frank Oz. Did you know it was Frank Oz in there?
As who?
He's the guy reading out the will. That's Yoda.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's
You've missed
Yoda,
one.
man.
You've missed one.
Who have I missed?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Toni Collette I missed as well. No, I
Yeah,
started
Toni
with Jamie Lee
Collette.
Curtis, but I missed Toni Collette.
Oh, okay, there we
so
go.
I missed one of the two every
And
time.
I actually really love Toni Collette's like Valley Girl.
Yeah. Oh, she's so good. I was a very big fan, actually, though, of Chris Evans. I thought this was a real departure for him. And
Yes.
apparently was cast on the back of a stage play that he'd been in that Rian Johnson had seen.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Rian Johnson as well,
Yes.
who took so much flack on his last film.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was The Last Jedi. Because, fanboys and trolls are
Do you know
idiots,
what?
but-
I loved The Last Jedi.
I did.
I have no idea what the hate is for that. And he is such an accomplished director. It's it is brilliant to kind of see him do this and do something completely different. And he loves this genre.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love and reverence on there. There are things like, I think they say at one point, actually looks like the house from Cluedo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's gothic. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's over the top. It's grotesque. The characters are bizarre. and it all works fantastically.
does.
So if you're this weekend, it looks like to be a wet and windy one. I would say go and spend it cozying up at the cinema watching this particular movie, because with Knives Out, it is brilliant.
No, absolutely. How many
I'll give
thumbs
it.
from
I'll
you?
give it two thumbs up.
Two riveting thumbs up from me as well.
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.